Hello, good afternoon, everyone. So today we are going to present how we can make security operations intelligent with agentic LLM solutions. So we have implemented this solution at Razorpay. So to start with, I am Haridev Rana, lead security engineer at Razorpay. Along with me, my colleague Sai Srinivas, who is again senior security engineer at Razorpay. So we both take care of security operations, cloud operations, and the security engineering, right? So we'll cover the problems that we are facing right now. All the security teams, like I think everyone would agree all the problem statement that we have defined, and then what the challenges and how we have solved using the LLMs, right? So to start with, there are many problems that we have, but these are the core ones that we generally face. One is visibility. When you have vast amount of data from different log sources, obviously you can aggregate to a logging platform or same and all. But still, when you have multiple sources, multiple cloud accounts and all, it become difficult to actually aggregate all the logs in one place. So and get a single point of view so that you can take actionables out of it, right? So with this visibility problem, the next is actionables. Once you are facing the visibility problem, then obviously followed by the actionables. When especially I'll also take an example of AWS itself, where you have dozens and hundreds of accounts, logs coming out from all the sources, all the accounts. So I'll also take an example of DDoS event where, for example, a live DDoS is happening. You have to take action on the WAF. You have to implement rules, very precise rules. Then it is actually a challenge to hover over across accounts and then uh, do a rule deployment, enable rule. Obviously, we can do with the tool or the service that AWS provide called AWS Firewall. There are other tools as well, but I'll talk about that later. How this is more efficient and cheaper than deploying all those tools. So right. So when we don't have the actionable insights, then obviously the deployment of rule, taking action on all those threats. Again, it's resulting in the delayed response to all those threats, right? And the last one is manual efforts. So among all these, obviously, we need a manual hands-on on that. So with this agentic LLMs, we can solve like not fully, but partially we can solve the complex things the machine can take care, and we can also involve human in between just for validation, so that everything whatever machine is taking care is aligned with the human analysis, right? So that's the manual efforts that we spend a lot. So coming to the challenges, which is again in line with these problem statements, again scale and complexity. This is again when you have different sources, log sources, accounts and all, then scaling become a challenge. For example, you are procuring 10 more AWS accounts, right? And you have to deploy all those rules either through IAC or manually. But these things also can be taken care by the agentic LLMs, so that whenever a new procurement of AWS accounts happen, the default rules, default services can be deployed automatically with this, right? So next is response time. Uh, since most of the things are actually manual efforts, the security analyst has to spend a lot of time, then obviously response time gets increased, because nowadays like the hackers are not like the traditional one. They are actually not limited with the human analysis, right? They are using machine to scan codes, scan the vulnerabilities and taking attacking this. So that's how we also have to be ahead of those. So response time also gets delayed. And then proactive improvement. So when a security team deals with historical analysis, right? It's become a challenge. Like how we can analyze last 1 month of data in a time. So there also we can use LLM because they will already have, the machine already have all the historical data. We can simply give them the prompt that okay, give me a data for the last 3 months. What are the patterns of attack we have seen? and what are the sources that we got, what are the IP addresses, geolocation, everything we can get it from the machine itself, right? So we have to be proactive on those as well. So here also that helps a lot. And at the end, we have obviously we have solution that I was talking about. We can use AWS firewall to manage firewall across the accounts, but again, that also comes with a little bit of limitations. That's where it is more efficient and more efficient in cost manner as well. So these are the main challenges we are facing, and we are solving with the agentic LLMs that we have implemented. So next, I will take care of the solution that we have implemented and tech side of it.
Coming to the workflow, we as Dev rightly pointed out, we have like 50 plus AWS accounts or even more than that, and they only keep increasing day to day, right? And the main challenge we face here is, although we have SIM tools and although you can do correlation in SIM, and you arrive at the data which you can take a look at, and do all the analysis, end of day you still have a challenge, which is a SOC analyst has to go and take a look at all the data, you know and as a human, it's very much possible that they'll have fatigue and working all day, they might miss out on patterns, right? So let's say there are like 2 to 3 accounts on which the attack is happening at the same time, and they have to go analyze all the logs from these 3 accounts and probably do some correlation, and also take a look at the patterns and see what exactly is happening, pull out all the IPs, and then go to different AWS accounts in different tabs, go add the rule in them, right? So there is a chance in this whole process flow that as a human, they might miss out on few things, they might miss out on drawing patterns, right? And LLM is something where it can help, right? So we have designed 2 particular workflows for this. One is a threat response workflow, and other is a continuous optimization workflow. So in threat response workflow, I'm not sure if the text is clear. I'll read it out. So there's agents, right? So we have primarily 3 agents here. So or 4 agents. So the first agent is a root agent. So the root agent, what it does, it takes the prompt from the user. So the user can say something like, get me the analysis of the web application firewall logs across, Razorpay production, Razorpay stage, and also let's say Razorpay X, for example. So it will pull the data, and it will give you the summary of the data, or whatever it has analyzed. And from there, let's say you look at the data and you find out the LLM has responded with a particular pattern. Okay, these are the 3 or 4 IPs which are continuously sending like the attack payloads, like let's say XSS, SQLI, or similar to that, on all the accounts, right? And we know that it's a attack that is spread across accounts, right? So you can go ask the agent and say, okay, build me a rule, right? Build me a WAF rule for this. And then this particular agent has been, it's just prompt engineering, and the root agent can understand, right? Based on the questions you have asked, the root agent can understand and delegate these particular tasks to the appropriate agent, right? When you say build a rule for it, the agent will delegate it to the rule architect. The root agent will delegate it to the rule architect, and then you have a rule which will be presented to you in the chat window. And post that, like you can also say go apply this on this particular account in count mode, right? So here there is a little risk, right? We don't want agents to go crazy, and it's also possible that they do mistakes. So what we do is we added human in the loop. So at this point, whenever you're doing any non-read operations, so the agent will trigger a human in the loop. So it's not gonna do any write operations, and write operations are by default and isolated from the agents at code level itself. They don't have access to credentials for write, right? So the human in the loop will be triggered, and there will be a Slack approval link sent, and folks can go through it and approve that. So after that, obviously it will enforce the agents, and you can also chat with it later on. Let's say after an hour, you'll come back, say, okay, I've added a rule in the count mode. What is the analysis? And it will present you with the analysis, and you can say, okay, this looks good, go block it, right? And again, it will trigger an approval, and you can go block it. So coming to the continuous optimization workflow, so most of the time it happens that there's a attack, on call team will be involved, and we go add some rules on the WAF, and we give it a pretty decent name, but unfortunately we won't go look back at it after 2-3 months, right? We'll add these rules and they'll just grow up. Although we have like all these meetings and things where you do the cleanup, it's not really effective, right? And you have the IP sets growing in a huge number. And there is also the other side of it, where let's say there's a IP address which you add as a malicious one today, right? And all these cloud providers have these elastic pools of IPs, right? Where they can, let's say a merchant has changed their EC2, or maybe even terminated and created a new EC2, right? Because at Razorpay we have lots of small merchants. It's not like enterprise level merchants that everyone will use a NAT and you have like static IPs, right? So merchants come with any IPs, and with the leaked IPs or with the leaked merchant credentials on dark web or with any other thing, right? So they can start a DDoS attack, right? So what we do here is it's very essential to remove these IPs from time to time so that we don't end up blocking the legitimate traffic whenever the IP gets reassigned, right? So for this thing, we have this continuous optimization workflow where uh, it will just run every day or as scheduled, and it will just give you the analysis and recommends you what can be removed or what optimizations you can make for the existing rules. So let's take a look at the demo. Right. So this is our agentic AI chat, and here you can see that we have given it a prompt saying, can you analyze the WAF logs for Razorpay X and Razorpay production for last 24 hours? And you can see there are many tool calls that are happening, right? So initially it is going and getting the CoreLogix logs for both of the accounts. Before that, you can also see, like on the top it's cut off, but it's getting the subsystem name, application name, and it also converts the user provided the natural language input into a timestamp which you can pass to your sim tool, right? So this is your graph, right? So that root agent is there, and you have like data analyzer, rule generator, and these are all the different tools that are available, right? So it goes and figures out, okay, you say there's a production, right? And it knows how to figure out what is the AWS account number for that thing, right? And it knows how to figure out what is the application name on the sim tool that we use for Razorpay production, and it also knows what is the subsystem name. So all these are just nothing but just tool calls. These are all Python functions defined in the backend, right? So uh, because of this, the benefits are that like the mean time to respond is very less, right? As I said, having multiple tabs open, and going to each account, opening the ACL, going to the rule group, adding rule, and saving it, all this hassle is gone. And you can also detect like uh, cross account attacks and take action, and also remediate the attacks, all from a single chat window. So yeah, safe and reliable deployment, we have human in the loop so that it doesn't go crazy haywire and just do something that we don't want it to do. And yeah, scalability, consistency, we have like let's say there are 10 accounts that come up. All you have to do is like generate uh, you know generate the IAM role, and just assign it to assume role from that new accounts for the existing one, right? That's all you need to do, and everything else will be handled. So yeah, that improves our operational efficiency to a great extent. So I'll pass it on to Dev to describe the impact.
So, in the interest of time, I'll not take much time. These are just for the reference that we have collected internally, how much efficiency we have received after deploying these LLMs. So mainly like reducing the human powers. You can see the graph. There's a drastic change in the hourly hours saved, right? And then of course, using this agentic LLM, we can save a lot of money as well, instead of exploring tools and spending a lot of money. We can actually save a lot. This is actually cheaper than that we have analyzed internally. So these are all like major impacts, like the positive impacts that we get after deploying the agentic LLM solution in your security operations on the BAU stuff, right? So next, we have the vision ahead. We'll just not take much time, just few minutes to explain.
Yeah.
Uh,
So we would also like to expand this agentic AI to other areas of the cloud providers like AWS. So right now it's only looking at WAF logs in the demo that we have shown, but we are also looking to extend it for other things like, let's say, security groups, VPCs, subnets, what are sitting inside this, right? And also do like contextual analysis based on all this information, right? So let's say there is a attack that we are seeing, and we know that this particular attack is something like log4j, for example, right? And we have an application we have applications which are running on Java, let's say, right? And but we know that it's always sitting in a private subnet, and we are not like not really exposed right away, right? It's not something where it's not a emergency as of now. So so all this analysis for a SOC analyst to do, right? Who is not aware of the account, right? Let's say there's a new account created, and this you have to check on the new account, and the SOC analyst will not have this information, right? The DevOps will have all this information, how it is configured, which subnet it is sitting in, and does it have a IGW attached. All these things is very difficult for a SOC analyst to go and do it in a war room mode. So that is where with a single prompt, the LLM can, like the agentic AI, can help you get the information. And we are also looking at automating the human in the loop where required, but that will be only for high confidence and low impact things. And yeah, as I said, we are doing broader integration for other areas of security related services on AWS. So yeah.
So this is it we have for today. Thank you so much for your time and listening to us.